Hello friends, I am Baltmatrix, and today we are taking a look at Transformers Deluxe Class Earthrise SUNSTREAKER. I picked this figure up over at the Hasbro Pulse, and SUNSTREAKER is a remold slash retool, heavily I might add, of Siege Wheeljack. Now, as you can see, he is modeled in yellow, black, and silver, and I'm rather smitten with this figure. This figure feels a lot better than Wheeljack does, and he actually holds together a little bit better. That's not to say he isn't flawless. He does have a couple of paint issues. But by far and away the strangest issue of this figure is that, he can hold the gun, but it's... the gun handle is too small for his hands. Like, seriously. Both of his hands. It just falls out of his hands. It's so strange. Yet, all the siege ports are just fine. Now, between him and Wheeljack, there is quite a bit different. The feet are completely different, and the arms and the shoulders and the head are completely different. Oh, and the backpacks are different, though the internals of the robot mode that are hidden in vehicle mode, like the upper thigh, legs, crotch, chest, those are all the same, and the transformation is very similar. I have to give credit to the designers. That head sculpt is really nice. The baby blues on the silver face with the nice yellow on the mutton chop wings? Yeah, mutton chop wings. Even though the figure cannot hold the gun slash engine air intakes, it fits fine on the back. And speaking of ports, we have one port on each top of the shoulder pylon, one port on each outside part of the forearm, his hands, obviously, one big port on his back, one port on the back of each lower leg, and one port on the bottom of each foot. For posability, head is on a ball joint, though it is a little bit limited in how far down it can look, but you can just kind of push the head in for the transformation to have it, stare into his own soul. Shoulders are on hinges and swivels. There is a swivel just above the elbow, 90-degree bend at the elbow. Fists do not articulate. There is a torso swivel for the transformation, hinges and swivels for the legs, and let me tell you, these swivels for the hips are super tight. Figure could do the full 180 splits. Thigh swivel, bend at the knees at 90 degrees, and then the good old ankle articulation. Now, one word of warning, the figure is mistransformed in the box. In order to be able to get him in there snugly, they had to collapse the heels. That's no problem. Just come in and flip out the yellow components until they snap into place, and then you've got some nice, strong, sturdy heels. I like SUNSTREAKER a lot. I think this is a great reimagining of the figure, or I should say the character. I would love to see these little bits stick up above his back a little bit more to give it a more G1 look, but that's good enough, honestly. The only oddity that I have with the figure is the paint, and specifically the forearms and the chest, and they don't match the rest of the paint at all. I mean, that's not even close to the same shade. The reason it ended up like this is because they're probably painting just yellow or the same dye of yellow paint that was made in the plastic onto black paint here and onto clear blue plastic here for the chest. The only thing that Hasbro could do to really mitigate that is to actually prime the dang figure, but they're not going to spend the money for that, unfortunately. And this is the closest we've ever gotten to the yellow Lamborghini that we grew up with in the 80s. It's pretty darn cool. The only issue I have is, again, the paint. The paint just, the yellows don't match, and that's very evident here. Now, if a kid gets a hold of this figure, they're not going to care, but me as a grumpy old man, I care. The air intakes, take it or leave it. I don't know of a modern Lamborghini that's used air intakes like these in, 10 plus years. All the air intakes are built into the body. You can actually see them right here on the sides, just behind the windows of the front and passenger doors. Overall, though, I think it's a success. I think Hasbro did a good job. Again, it's just the paint that bugs me. Now, next to his brother, he looks really good. Obviously, you have this Cybertronian mode that, let's be honest, it could pass for a domestic Earth mode. It just lacks, doors. But, yeah, these two look pretty good together. Now, here is SUNSTREAKER next to his mold brother of Wheeljack. He also shares transformation with Exhaust, who I also have that I just didn't bother putting into this video. And if you've paid attention and you know how Wheeljack transforms, there are some subtle differences. There is an extra twist on the hips to turn it around, so here are the thighs of the figure in robot mode, and here are the back of the legs of Wheeljack. And then there is the little connector bit for under the windscreen. There are pegs that peg into the top of the legs, and the arms. The arms are completely different. While the fists are, for the Wheeljack's robot mode, are right here on the side, the fists are the back of the vehicle mode in SUNSTREAKER. This is a really cool retool, and this is a thing that I like Hasbro doing. They are retooling it enough so that it is a completely different figure with a slightly different transformation. That's what I think retools should be. SUNSTREAKER is very, very cool, and I like it a lot. Yes, it has some minor issues. Yes, it has some minor problems. But I can look past just about, well, I can look past all of them, to be honest. I really like this figure, and I was prepared to hate it. I really was. But it's fun. It's a fun figure. It's cool. It's different enough from Wheeljack that it feels like its own thing. And that's a win in my book. It's worth the asking price. Now, as I said, I picked this up over at the Hasbro Pulse. I believe it is also available for pre-order over at my friends at the Big Bad Toy Store. The link for that is down in the description. So, folks, let me know what you think of this figure down in the comments. As I said, thank you so much for watching this video review. I have been Baltmatrix, asking you to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to follow me over on Twitter and over on Patreon.com. Your monthly financial contributions will allow me to keep the lights on. Again, thank you for watching. I've been Baltmatrix. We'll see you next time.